welcome back to Uncourt Crime. It's Kelly.
And Amelia. And welcome back. I heard you have some research and you did this morning that you want to talk about.
Yes. So I was on Twitter and saw something that came up about this Justin Bieber conspiracy video.
Mm-hmm.
And so I YouTube immediately because I'm curious.
Right.
And it's like ties into the Pizzagate stuff. So the song Yummy.
Mm-hmm.
You know that song?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this girl was in Spain visiting family. It was her YouTube video I'm watching. I should backtrack.
Okay.
She saw that it was trending. This was posted in January of this year.
The video? The YouTube video?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she was in Spain visiting family for like the Christmas season. And Yummy was trending. And she was like, oh, it's probably just because
Pizzagate.
the song came out. Oh. No, the song came out and he'd been out of the spotlight for a while. Did you know that? I don't listen to Justin Bieber, so I had no idea.
So he released his song and then he
was like, took a step back and then not randomly, but then released this Yummy song.
Oh, yeah.
So she thought it was trending because, he released a new song, no big deal. Looked more into it and it's like, no, it's this whole conspiracy thing. So apparently when young Justin Bieber, first started getting famous, so like when he was like 12, 13, I don't know, he's very young.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I don't know if it was like his manager or someone, it's his...
In his team?
Yeah, his team, I guess. Yeah, good word. Was quoted saying something like,
oh, no.
Justin Bieber is a beautiful person, more beautiful than most women.
Oh.
Which to say about a 13-year-old boy is weird. So then it came out a couple years later that this guy had worked with other people and there were all these sexual harassment assaults against him. And he ended up losing his job.
Oh.
And kind of fell off the radar.
Of course, didn't get jail time.
Yeah, probably not. Had money. So Justin Bieber got big. And then, so last year, I guess he took a step back and went to this church.
Yeah, he was not mentally and physically he was not doing well. I just figured that it was drugs,
No.
and alcohol or something, and child stars and look at Britney Spears for God's sakes. But that's what I thought it was, kind of like a rehab church type thing.
So he announced that he had Lyme disease.
Oh,
because
yeah.
everyone started saying the same thing. He's looking like shit because he's an alcoholic. He's getting into drugs.
Yep.
No, it was the Lyme disease.
I remember that.
So he came out saying I've been suffering from Lyme disease. I still am. That's what's going on. So then he went to this church and gave this speech and sang a song. And I guess there's spotty footage of this.
Oh.
So in his
Did you see the footage?
No, I didn't.
Damn.
I was listening to it while I was weeding.
Oh.
So I couldn't look other stuff up while I was I had just the speaker going on my phone. So I was if my neighbors are listening, it is 9 a.m.
You weren't even on headphones?
No, because I didn't want to have the cord.
Yeah.
I don't have AirPods. So I was I want the cord in the way. So I just put it on the step and it's just
That's funny.
conspiracy theory, child molestation things blaring at 9 a.m. in my neighborhood. So sorry, that's my dog.
Major.
So he gave this speech, and in this speech he was I'm taking a step back from the music industry because it's ran by horrible or corrupt people / pedophiles. But I guess that part of the speech you cannot find recording of. There's videos of him singing, there's videos of every other part of the speech, but there's this random chunk missing. But other people were there and have people who were there have corroborated and said yes, that's what he said. So he took a step back, and then I guess in the speech he was there was this little boy who started in the music industry and he was really young and he got really famous and he was molested, and there's conspiracy that he was talking about himself as the little boy. So he went and found Jesus, whatever he did. Then comes out the Yummy video. And I've not seen the video. I saw clips while this was on the YouTube video. I was peeking. So he's in a pink jacket or something and his hair's pink. And in the beginning of the video, he walks in this dark room and then walks into this bright open restaurant dining area. So that's supposed to signify him coming from the darkness of the industry, all the bad stuff. But in the dining room he walks into, it's all old people and then him and then kids playing in this restaurant.
That's creepy.
And then apparently near the end,
old
yes.
adults or grandparents.
She just said old people. I'm assuming probably both.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess there's this guy in the video who is supposed to be like the leader of this Pizzagate shit, and he shows up like multiple times throughout the video.
Wait, there's a leader of the Pizzagate?
So they say.
Who?
I don't know. So at the end of the video, it ends up being just Justin and this old man and the kids left in the room. And it's like the kids are like the entertainment for these elite old people, which...
That is so
and
weird.
And then the Yummy logo, like that came out with the song,
is pizza.
Incorporated pizza into it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Pizza is code for boy,
Pizzagate.
little boy.
Yeah.
When you order whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or cheese pizza, whatever it is.
No, cheese pizza is girl. I thought pasta was boy.
Well, so then in the video they talk about cheese pizza is little girl.
Yes.
Pepperoni pizza is little boy.
Yes.
Pasta is just boy.
I saw that
and
too.
then there's a bunch of other
there's
ones.
a bunch like sauces orgy.
Yes.
I saw that too.
And apparently, side note, when Hillary Clinton's, so ironic again, during election year is when Pizzagate first started in 2016 is when this all first started. Election year. 2020, election year. It's getting big again. So apparently the emails from Hillary Clinton that came out, a lot of it was these code words, like this cheese pizza, like all that shit was in the emails, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I think that was all that was in the video that really, but like if you listen to the lyrics, it's something about, I don't know the lyrics of the song, but it's essentially him saying like, they're drugging me. And I guess like in the video, he has this knife in his hand that has like, looks like blood on it. And there's a cup of red wine. And that symbolizes something in the Pizzagate.
Because in Pizzagate, they drink blood and they kill babies and like do satanic, like
satanic things. Yeah.
Yeah. And they drink babies' blood.
So there's in the beginning of the video and at the end, you can see the knife in the glass of red wine. I want to say there was something else, something with the lyrics. It's like him saying like, I'm being drugged. Like they're drugging me to do this. So then it went off saying, and there's this other video that Justin Bieber's in a music video and he's wearing an ice cream costume, and ice cream stands for boy prostitute in the Pizzagate lingo. So is he saying he is or he was? And then it went off saying like, you know, the 27 Club.
No.
You don't know what the 27 Club is?
No. What's that?
Like all these famous people who have died at the age of 27. Like there's a shit ton.
Like Brittany Murphy.
Yes.
I didn't know that was
like,
a thing.
It's a huge thing. So like
I did not know
whenever
that.
these big stars get past 27, they're like, it's like a big thing because it's all these famous people that die at the age of 27. It's weird.
I did not know that.
Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morris, all these big,
so well known.
Yes, big well-known stars. So apparently
this is so unsettling. Like
yes,
I just don't like it.
There's a theory that all of these people who have died at the age of 27 are because they were like young stars growing up, got caught up in this Pizzagate scandal, and once they became like adult, you know, that age is when you're really becoming like me. I feel like, you know, I bought a house, like you start getting your shit together a little bit.
Right.
That they wanted to expose this Pizzagate scandal, and so they were murdered, and it made it look like suicide. Or I'm just like,
I believe it.
My God, I just got
I know
the chills,
you get trapped in this. That I was looking at this again because I saw something with Justin Bieber that he was on like an Instagram live. I mean, I don't think there was any purpose to this Instagram live. He was just on an Instagram live. And somebody had commented on it 2 times, like 2 separate videos. Somebody commented on and said, if your video Yummy is incorporate, like is Pizzagate and like all of this stuff is true, touch your nose. And you can see his eyes reading this comment, and he goes and touches his nose. And then and then another video, they basically say the same thing, like, is Yummy Pizzagate, blah blah blah, were you not sex trafficked, were you involved in this, blah blah blah, touch your hat. And he pulls his hat.
Okay.
And you can see that he's reading these messages, and like you can see that he's responding to these messages before too. The
only thing that gets me on this stuff is like, I heard his Instagram had a lot of weird shit, but like I'm looking at his Instagram now and I don't see anything. The only thing that makes me question it and that seems weird to me is that that's so out in the open and obvious. And if this Pizzagate scandal has been going on for this many years, they're gonna be watching that stuff, and like they're gonna
and something they could do something bad,
like the wine in the video, or like the lyrics that make it seem like he's saying like, I'm being drugged, help me. You think these elite people would let that slide? They're gonna know these lyrics before you post them.
But there's so many. I bet you there's just so many kids, so many people that like at some point how do they?
But I feel like it would be like, oh, for sure we know this is a thing now, because if that many people are in it, how are they keeping it under wraps this well?
Well, speaking of the election, when you said that, Donald Trump has made a statement to Hillary Clinton about how she lost all these kids in Haiti. Apparently, all of these kids in Haiti have gone missing, and he like made a comment to her in front of this like big meeting. And
he made a comment to Hillary Clinton?
Mm-hmm.
What did he say?
And like the whole room of people about like something I don't follow politics, so I don't really know what happened, but something about Hillary Clinton lost all of these kids in Haiti. Like she went to Haiti, did something, and all these kids gone missing. Well, it's a theory that these kids went into the Pizzagate shit. And then like I keep seeing more things about Ellen DeGeneres, and there's like 4 pictures that you can see. She's wearing a tether and she's trying to cover it with her sweatpants, but it's so obvious that you can see it. And I believe it because all of this shit is coming out. A bunch of workers of hers are coming out and saying that Ellen DeGeneres is actually like a bitch.
But okay, I have heard that. But again, to play devil's advocate, which I try to do on this podcast, so that we can get both sides out. Mm-hmm. Who's to say someone's not paying them to say that? I mean, it can go both ways. You have all this money. If someone who Ellen DeGeneres really pissed someone off, if you're working for her, you have to make good money. Mm-hmm. You know people who have money. You could easily pay, or someone could easily pay you to say, hey, say Ellen DeGeneres did this and that. If someone offered you $1 million, would you do it?
Fuck yeah. Exactly.
So who's to say these people aren't being paid off to say these weird things?
Yeah, I get that. And also, like, apparently...
And it's election year, so weird shit happens that you can't fucking believe everything.
Apparently, it's not really Ellen DeGeneres. It's like her other like producers and stuff were doing this, but they're pissed that Ellen DeGeneres didn't like do anything about it. But like, it's just coincidence that this whole tether sex trafficking, somehow she's involved, and she's probably involved with Jeffrey Epstein too. Let's be real. And then workers are coming out saying this, and I just feel like we're in a movement too right now with the Black Lives Matter and everything, that people are just like over people's bullshit and just are starting to expose people.
I think it's the media playing up. It's not.
I don't know.
I think it's all media. It's all for the publicity stunt. I still think, just like with Corona, Corona's started slowing down, so now we got this whole Pizzagate scandal. I still think it's a distraction. They're trying to like give us anything else to hang on to and focus on, so that we're not seeing. It's an election year. There is something that
I'm sure
they don't want us to hear or see or know about, and they're just trying to throw whatever they can, because as human beings, we are addicted to that shit. We will soak it up. We listen to it. Here we are talking about it.
Right.
It's working.
I'm sure, but I'm still intrigued by this shit, so I don't care.
Oh, I mean, also, I listened to a YouTube video about the Wayfair shit. Mm-hmm. They were kind of like me, trying to play like devil's advocate. Like, what about this? Right. What about this? Which he makes a good point. So, like, 2 good points. A kidney costs like $20,000. You're gonna tell me you can buy a whole human for $13,000?
I mean, I don't know. I can't. I don't know how much a kidney costs. I don't know that stuff. Yeah. But
then he also made another point. What if I had a shit ton of money? I needed a locker. Yeah, it seems a little expensive, but I got money. What if I buy this locker, then all of a sudden I'm involved in sex trafficking now? How can they do that when it's so public? Anyone could go buy that shelf. Yeah, who needs a $13,000 shelf? But if I'm a millionaire, I don't give a fuck about the price. I'll order it. Why not? Well, and then I get a human body shipped to my house? What?
I think there's some type of, I'm just assuming that there's some type of background that somehow they can figure out who's purchasing it, or I don't know. But I did see a video that one of person put that locker into her cart and like went to go.
Oh my God, I never would have done that, because I feel like I'm being tied. Now right. The government is going to show up at my house. Oh, hell no.
Apparently she put this locker in her cart and she went to go check out, and it auto-filled everything for her
with a different name.
Yeah,
with the missing girl's name.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know.
I heard they were talking about that on the podcast. I keep saying podcast on the the YouTube video that they went and checked out, and it was all auto-filled
Yeah.
with like the missing person's name.
Yeah, so like to play devil's advocate, I feel
you.
like there's some type of tracking they can figure out who's purchasing these, if they do, and if they can tell if it's somebody who doesn't know or somebody, you know, who knows what they're purchasing. I don't know. I'm just assuming because technology. But along these lines,
I was gonna say I really want pizza. I literally meant I really want like a hot and ready pizza.
Pizza does sound good now that we're talking about it. But along these lines, I was talking to my coworker yesterday, and she was like, saw something on Facebook, and she was like, it was like an article or something. The title was like, so nobody wants to talk about how Woody Allen adopted a child from like Korea or something to basically groom her to be his wife. And I fucking looked into that shit.
Woody Allen?
Let me tell you the story.
That's the thing too. There is so much going on that you can't even keep up anymore.
I know.
How do you know what's real and what's not? Like, how do you really know?
Right. I don't know if it's true, but the story itself is still crazy. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Because this is a doozy. We're going to start with Mia Farrow. She marries this dude, don't know his name, don't
Who's
even
Mia
know
Farrow?
him. I don't know, look him up later. She gets married to him.
Famous people, right?
Yes, I believe so. I don't know.
It sounds like a famous.
Right.
I feel like it sounds.
Mia Farrow sounds familiar, but
Yes.
the guy who she married, I don't know. So she marries this guy, and I believe they have some of their own kids, and then they adopt kids as well. Okay, they get divorced, and Mia Farrow and Woody Allen start dating for like 12 years.
Damn.
Okay, and I don't know if maybe she adopts more kids. I don't know when she adopted these kids, but pretty much she has like 9 adoptive kids and like 6 of her own.
Holy
like she's
shit.
got a shit ton of kids, okay? So Woody Allen and Mia Farrow are together for 12 years. They break up. Woody Allen adopts like some of the kids that she adopted
From her?
From her, basically. This is what I read. But he doesn't adopt this one because he starts dating the one, Soon-Yi, who you just saw in that picture. And then he marries her. She's 50 and he's 84. He
was for 12 years was like her stepdad.
They weren't married, but yes, basically her
I mean,
stepdad.
at that point, 12 years.
They are together. She is married to her mom's ex-boyfriend, and she has 13 brothers and sisters. Soon-Yi has 13 brothers and sisters.
So now she's also the stepmom to her siblings.
Yes,
because
and-
he adopted some of her siblings.
And she has kids with him. She has like 2 kids with him. It's so fucked up. It's just like I was telling Jordan about this yesterday because I was like, this is fucking crazy. But like, okay, regardless of like the adoptive part, like it's still crazy that you dated a girl and then married her daughter
That you helped raise.
Right, like that girl looked at you probably as a dad at some point. And
Ew.
this girl knows nothing. This girl thinks that this is normal because this is how she was raised. And then I guess one of the other kids of Mia Farrow's has publicly came out and said that Woody Allen has sexually abused her.
What the fuck?
And like this poor girl came from Korea, and like she thinks that this is what, like she just thinks this is her life. Like I just look at pictures and I'm just like, you just look so dead inside. Like
she probably is.
I just like I can't even imagine. Like that's so weird.
That's almost like Mom and Terry divorcing, and one of us dating and marrying Terry.
Granted, like I know this shit happens, and like I know the article said like he adopted her from Korea and groomed her. I don't know if that's necessarily true,
Right.
but it's still fucked up that you married, and they're still married, your ex-girlfriend's daughter.
Ugh, that poor girl. She has no idea.
Like, you know, he was probably sexually abusing her too, and then waited
100%.
until she was of age to publicly come out, and then they ended up getting married, and nobody's talking about it. Everybody's just like, yeah, that's normal. It's not normal. Like, it's not even the age difference. Age difference is like not even a thing anymore, let's be real. But like, it's the fact that you helped raise this child for 12 years and then decided to marry her.
I don't think it's not right. I don't think it's that abnormal. It does happen all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's messed up. It's creepy. It makes me cringe. It's weird. But I think it's because it happens, and it's like, oh, another
But
one of
he
those
also
situations.
sexually abused one of the other kids and didn't.
Yeah, but like allegedly, it's her word against him. He's got money. He's gonna shut her up real quick.
I know. And then I got in a rabbit hole about that, and then I got in a rabbit hole about the Hampstead kids. Have you heard about that?
No.
It's like a viral video of these two kids, like young, a girl and a boy, who like are basically exposing like this satanic sex trafficking pedophilia thing, and it's their dad. Like their dad
How
is
old are these kids?
young, like fucking 8.
And they're like talking about it?
Yeah, this was a long time ago. I don't know whatever happened to it because I didn't finish the video, but like these kids like go to school. Their mom didn't know anything about this. They went to school. Once their mom was away from the school, the dad would come in, and like the dad and all the teachers would just like start sexually abusing these kids.
I think I have heard about this.
They say that they dance around with baby skulls. They drink blood.
They're foreign kids. They have an accent.
Yes.
I have seen the video.
Gabriel and
they're talking about it like it's so normal, though.
Yeah, they're like,
there's
happens.
baby skulls everywhere. But I heard it was investigated and it was not true.
I don't know.
And
I
that
didn't finish it.
The kids were sexually abused by the parents, but they were coming up. They were sexually abused. They're mentally off now. They're not. And they're just like saying these things and none of it was true.
I don't know, but some of this stuff is like they were talking about dildos. Like, how do you know what a dildo is at that age? Like some of the stuff they're saying, it's like, how do you know unless somebody has told you or unless you've seen it? You know, some of the things is just like
I have seen the video though.
Yeah.
We should listen to it while we.
I never finished it, but yeah, I got rabbit hole about that because it's like I'm
about to sit here all day, freak the fuck out.
I know, that's why I like
sucked in.
Sometimes at work I had to stop watching it because I'm like, okay, Jordan's not gonna be home when I get home, so like I'm gonna be freaked out.
That's why I did this morning. I was like, it's 9 a.m. I'm gonna be outside.
I'm outside.
I'll be okay.
That's when I do it too. Is if I'm like outside in the daytime.
But that's almost worse. So I could easily be picked up outside. If I'm inside, my doors are locked.
True.
I'm actually safer.
True, but I just feel like. I don't feel as scared outside because it's just like so much. And then I'm like in this little house where I'm like, oh my gosh. Well,
if I'm outside, I can scream. If I'm inside, everyone's air is on, windows are shut, no one's gonna fucking hear me. I'm dead. Also, I have this weird paranoia that as soon as I like think about saying it out loud, I sound like Kelly, something's wrong with you. That like there's like a homeless person or something living in my house and I don't know. Like, have you seen that video?
I've seen the video of the one in the attic that eats the food.
Yeah, now I'm like feeling like someone's crawling around my house.
Oh my gosh, no, you would know.
No, I have that
Major would not allow it.
What if he's been here for so long that Major just thinks it's normal now?
No.
What if he's in my crawl space?
He barks when I come.
What if there's someone in my crawl space? I never go back there. I would never know. He got a little mattress, and when I'm gone, I don't really leave much anymore. So,
do you notice things out of place?
I mean, no, but I have a dog and a cat, so if something's out of place, I'd be like, oh, Thad was just up on the counter.
You're being dramatic.
I get whenever I go in the basement, I'm like, what if he's crawling out because he thinks I'm sleeping and I walk downstairs and I'm going to come face to face with this person that's been living.
Oh my gosh. That would be terrifying though.
It's so bizarre. And there's no reason except for that one video
you saw.
But it just creeps me out so. And it's not like my house is big at all. Like, if you sneezed, I would hear you.
Yeah.
But I just like.
If he moved, you would hear him.
Not if he's in the basement. I don't know. Sometimes I have this like, what if there is someone in here?
Nobody is in here. Major would never allow it. He barks when I come over.
Now he's heard me and I was like, damn, I gotta move out.
Damn, I'm going to that other bitch's house. I ain't got a basement. I got a crawl space.
Your garage. Upstairs.
Upstairs, yeah.
See?
Okay, well, I think it's time to get this wine
I
open.
wish we would have had 2 bottles to drink one during that. That was a very
That could have been like a whole
intense
episode.
We should do an episode where we have like legit take notes, look into.
Let's do it.
Instead of just like talking.
Let's do it because I'm waiting for you to do a conspiracy one.
Okay. I keep trying to find one.
Or I've been waiting for you to do a cult one.
Even that.
Yeah, I know. They're hard.
It's so hard to like. I also feel like conspiracy or like the cult ones could easily be like covered up. Or like, it's just, I looked up a couple of them and like the articles are like 3 paragraphs and I'm like, I can't. You know what I should do? I just find multiple and do a whole episode of like different.
Also, I wonder if we can find a book on it. A book on a cult. Scientology. There's a lot of stuff on Scientology.
Okay. That's the other thing. I was like, oh, I'll do Scientology. Then it's like too much. And I'm like, okay, I need something in between. Like there's just so much information. Yeah, there's such a long episode.
But I mean, you could just do like one story in Scientology or something like that.
Or I'll see if I can find little bits of different cult ones and just do one cult episode. And just do different stories.
I mean, whatever. I'm so intrigued with cults, so I've been waiting.
I know. I've been like looking. Every time I look, I'm like, it's just not long enough.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
On that note,
Let's open the wine.
let's get this wine opened up. All right. So today we're drinking Brightlands Rosé wine with notes of cherry, watermelon, and lime.
Ooh, watermelon.
I did not
really?
know that.
I didn't either.
It's a California wine
Mm.
that you can purchase at Dollar General for $5.
The DG.
There's a dollar store literally walking distance of both of our houses.
Yeah,
so
we
we
love
spend a lot of time. They have a lot of cute things.
They do.
We
you know
are
what? Don't
drinking out of water
dog it.
bottles today.
Yes, don't dog the Dollar General.
No.
You can dog like Family Tree or like
The
Dollar
Tree.
Tree.
Or Family Dollar. You mean?
Yeah, sorry.
Family Tree.
But don't dog the Dollar General because ours are newer
Yes.
and like
They're
I
a
ain't
little
gonna lie,
more-
I got some home decor from there and I don't hate it.
I have so much decor. That little lamp.
Yeah.
Dollar General. That calendar thing. Dollar General.
Yeah,
I have
they
so
got
much
cute
shit from Dollar General. And it's like, it's not like $1 a piece. Some of their stuff
Yes.
is a little more.
I believe just the green Family Tree, everything's
Everything's
a dollar. But this wine is only $5 and it's good
again,
wine.
You said Family Tree. It's Dollar Tree. Everything's $1. Family
No.
Dollar, not every. Dollar Tree is the green one.
You're
Everything
right,
is
you're
$1.
right, you're right, you're right.
Family Dollar, not
Yes.
everything's $1.
The
Dollar
Family-
General is like the high class dollar store.
Dollar General is yellow and black.
Yes.
Dollar Tree is green and Family Dollar is red and yellow.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes. But I would label them like top notch dollar store, Dollar General.
Yes.
Middle of the line, Family Dollar. Bottom, Dollar Tree.
Really? I might switch the two, Dollar Tree
prices.
and Family Dollar.
Really?
Oh,
Everything's
by
$1 at
prices, I
Dollar
don't
Tree.
know.
Well, everything's $1.
I
Dollar
just
Tree.
mean like with the items, I would switch the last two.
Mm.
Anyways, we're
The
going
Family
back.
Dollars are always jank as fuck though. Like they're the dirtiest,
Family Dollar.
jankiest.
Yes, that's why I'm saying I would put them at the bottom.
Yes, but their prices are a little higher.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna drink this.
But this wine is $5 at Dollar General, and
Yes.
it's decent. It's good. Like it's not bad.
No, their wine section's very small. So like when I'm
Yeah.
like in a pinch and I'm like really could use a bottle of wine, it's right. It takes me
Yeah.
5 minutes to get there and come back.
Mhm.
So I get this. So I'll read the description.
Okay. Oh, I thought that was the description.
No.
Okay.
Welcome to Brightlands, where the crisp, clean air smells like unfaded memories and where dreamy beach sunsets never seem to end.
Ooh.
Wake up your palate as you sip our delectable wines,
Delectable.
harvested at the peak of flavor to deliver a unique experience you won't soon forget.
I won't.
Our rosé is a refreshing wine with aromas of raspberries and watermelon. Yum. Flavors of cherry and sweet citrus complement the smooth, crisp finish.
Ooh.
The bottle's really cool too.
It is. It's a cute bottle.
Yeah, all of theirs are fun little bottles. 10%. So we're going to crack this bad boy open.
Let's open this, and we should add that we're drinking out of coffee cups today.
Yeah, real classy. Using TV trays as
Yes.
our table,
Yeah.
curled up on the couch. It's a very chill.
I ain't mad about it.
No.
Okay, cheers with our coffee cups.
Cheers.
Oh,
Oh my god,
that was so pathetic.
oh my god, it really fucking was.
Refreshing. See, I like this rosé. I'm not a huge rosé fan, as you guys know, but this rosé is not bad.
It's a little drier than most rosés, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as sweet. I think that's why I like it too.
I think, yeah, and I like dry wine.
it's very fruity though.
It is. It's good. You know what would be good? With some fruit in it. Or
I
like
have
a
some
sangria.
strawberries. Frozen strawberries. You want to throw some in?
Yeah. They're frozen?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Okay, well, the strawberries was a good call. Good thing I said that.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. I forgot I had
So what do you think of it?
Let me sip it now that I got some strawberries. Slap a lappin'. I could drink it
good.
all day.
It's hot today, so it's a good.
I was just going to say, with as hot as it's supposed to be today, this is like the perfect thing to be drinking.
I think this rosé is my favorite rosé, and it's from the Dollar General.
DG all the way.
Don't dog my DG. Don't do it.
Don't DG my DG. Or wait.
Don't DOG my DG.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, sorry.
It's so sad because the cashiers at the Dollar General by my house like know me now. I walk in, they're
Yeah.
like, "How are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, this is embarrassing." I fucking love DG though, and this wine.
I do too. Yeah, this wine is great. So
Now that we've uncorked this delicious DG wine, are we ready to uncork some crime?
let's do it.
Major, are you ready for a story?
Oh.
He is ready. He's focused on the story. Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay.
What are we talking about today, Amelia?
So this is a little short one, but since we've talked so much, it's okay. This is a story about Grace May Brown.
I was just thinking it sounds familiar. But go
Grace
on.
Brown. This is about Grace Brown. This is the murder of Grace Brown at Big Moose Lake. Heard of it? I've never heard of it. Okay. So Grace was born on March 20th, 1886 in a small town called South Otselic in New York. She was the middle child. She was fifth of 9 children.
Don't feel that.
Yeah. Her dad was a successful dairy farmer named Frank Brown, and her mom's name was Betsy.
What a, Frank Brown,
right?
Just like a basic name.
Like John Smith.
Yeah, Frank Brown.
Grace was very lively and loved to sing and dance, like
Amelia, not the middle child in this family.
No. She attended a lot of concerts where she...
Oh, living her best life. Okay.
Yeah, whenever she could, she would go to some concerts. She was actually nicknamed Billy because of her love of the song Won't You Come Home, Billy Bailey.
I thought you were going to say she was a tomboy, and I was like, oh my God, Kevin, Billy, we could have been friends.
No, she wasn't, sorry. I mean, well, it didn't say she was really a girly girl, so... So Grace graduated from high school at the age of 16, and at the age of 18, she moved to Cortland, which is like a nearby town, to live with her sister Ada, who had moved there with her husband Clarence. And she planned to work at the new Gillette skirt factory. So the pay was only a few dollars a week, but it was more money than she had ever seen on the farm. So at this point, we are in 1904.
I was just thinking, too, I was going to say earlier, going to concerts, that's surprising at that time for a girl to be going out.
Yeah.
Good for her.
I think it was just not like concerts like today, obviously.
No, I know, but still, I just feel like at that time,
she just loved to sing and dance and have a good time. Billy was out there killing it.
Billy?
Billy. Okay. So now we're going to talk about Chester Gillette.
Chester.
He was born on August 9th, 1883 in Wicks, Montana, but he spent most of his childhood in Spokane, Washington. He does have a sister named Hazel. She comes up later. I don't know if he has other siblings. It's never said, and I couldn't really find anything up.
So Chester and
I couldn't figure out the names of Grace's other siblings. They don't come up, but
Chester and Hazel, that's quite a... Makes
names.
me think of the fairy tale. They go to the house.
Oh, yeah.
What's the names?
I don't know.
Gretchen or...
Huh?
Oh my God. You know what I'm talking about, though?
No, I don't. I said yes, but I don't. I thought I did, but I don't.
Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, Hansel. Mm-hmm.
Chester and Hazel.
Chester and Hazel
Gretel and
for
Hansel.
names back in 1883.
Hazel, I like that name.
I do too. Chester? I like that name.
Chester makes me think of a dog.
That's what I was going to say
A
for a
little
dog. Yeah,
Not a big dog.
Kona should be Chester.
Yes, Kona's like a Chester dog.
If she was a boy, yeah.
Kona Chester.
I would totally name her Chester.
What would
Come
you
here,
call him for
Chessie.
short?
I don't know.
Chesty?
Jessie.
You're Chesty. For now.
Chessie, not with a T.
Oh, I was saying Chesty.
Like Jessie, but Chessie. Okay.
Anyways.
So Chester's dad was a silver miner, but I also read that he was a successful businessman, so I don't know.
Maybe he did both. Maybe he was
Yeah,
like
probably.
an entrepreneur.
But his dad's name was also named Frank.
So Frank and Frank.
Yes. And his mother's name was Louisa Rice.
Rice?
I don't know. Yeah, rice. Like the rice you eat.
Well, what other rice is there?
I don't know. Good point. His parents were financially comfortable, but they lost everything they owned in the Great Spokane Fire in 1889.
Sad.
After this, they became very religious and joined the Salvation Army Christian Church. But Chester never really believed in it all. He wasn't as into it as his parents were.
How old was he at this time? Do you know?
1889. So young.
Oh, he was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm. So they traveled a lot with the church doing charitable work, and this made it difficult for their children to obviously get an education. But Chester ended up going to college at Oberlin College in Ohio after his wealthy uncle got him in, but he dropped out after a year and started working odd jobs. At what point he moved to Chicago and took a job selling books.
Oh,
and
love
was
it.
a brakeman on the railroad. But in 1905, he moved to Cortland and started working at his uncle's skirt factory, where he met Grace.
Ooh.
So they're both working.
So Chester and Grace are working at the skirt factory.
Yes.
Wait,
His salary was $10 a week, and it never changed. Just a little side snippet.
What was hers?
I don't know. Just said,
I
it
feel
said it wasn't much, but I think he was a little higher up than she was because his wealthy uncle owned this
Right.
thing. So
I feel like $10 an hour in 1905.
yeah, it's
Like he was loaded.
Yeah, he was.
Because minimum wage isn't much more than that here now.
I heard he was like a supervisor, but then I heard he was just.
That's pretty good money.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So Chester and Grace, they met. They started
Hit it off.
Yes, they started dating, and they became intimate.
Ooh, Grace. Premarital sex?
Yes, which was not okay back then.
I know. That's why I said that. Ooh,
Yeah.
a little slew.
So while they continued to work, they were still,
She really
fucking
was
around.
just living her best life, though.
She was. She didn't care. She
She
thought
did
he
not
was
give a
nice
fuck.
looking, and she was just like happy that someone good looking as him was into like a farm girl, because that's basically
Yeah.
what she was.
But she's going to concerts. She's loving her life. She's making some good money. She's having sex.
She's having sex.
Living her
Do
life.
it, girl. Okay. So
She's
Chester.
scandalous.
Yeah, she was being scandalous. So Chester knew he was good looking and liked the fact
Conceited.
that his uncle was very wealthy, and he met a lot of like upper class people.
Elite.
Yes.
Pizzagate.
Oh my gosh. Okay, not like that. Come on. So like I said, Grace was just happy that he was interested in her because Chester was making new rich friends. They would spend a lot of time playing tennis, riding bikes, attending dances and formal parties.
God, they are just living the life.
Mm-hmm. But in 1906, Grace got pregnant.
Well, we all saw that coming,
Yeah.
Grace. There wasn't birth control back then.
No. So
Uh-oh.
she wanted to get married to Chester because back then it was not good to get pregnant.
No.
And a lot of times girls would kill themselves rather than be outed for being pregnant and before marriage.
I mean,
So she begged and begged Chester to marry her.
Chester sounds like he's doing well. Take care of this issue, Chess.
But Chester didn't want to. He didn't want to get married. So workers in the factory started noticing that Chester was angry a lot and Grace was crying a lot. And this factory was big. Like there was 250 other employees.
Oh, wow. Decent
So
size.
it was big, yeah. And then friends and family also noticed that they were like just not doing good. Like they were living
Something
their
was
life,
off.
having sex, doing it all. And now they're fighting all the time because Grace wanted to get married. So Grace went back home to her parents in South Otselic for a little bit just to spend time with them, but she didn't tell them.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
But she returned back to Cortland when she heard that Chester was messing around with other women.
Oh, she pissed.
Yeah, so apparently he had his eye on a socialite named Harriet Benedict, who also came from a wealthy family, and she was just in that group that he went to parties
Right.
and did all that stuff with. But while she was back in her hometown with her parents, she was writing letters back to Chester where she begged Chester to marry her and tried to help him understand that she feared the shame she would get if they were married and or if they were not married, got pregnant, and her family found out. She didn't want her family to know. But Chester didn't want to hear any of it, and he really didn't care to get married, and he made very vague statements about their future. But then Grace threatened to expose Chester for messing around with Harriet and getting her pregnant at the same time. So, to that, back then, that wouldn't be okay either,
Oh,
that
gosh.
he got someone
Two
pregnant.
girls pregnant?
Well, she's
Ooh.
not pregnant. Harriet's not pregnant, but he was messing around with her
Oh.
and got this girl pregnant, all out of wedlock.
I thought you
Yeah.
meant
Harriet was pregnant.
they both got pregnant. I was like, oh my god.
No. So she wanted to expose him. And so finally he was like, I'll take you on a trip to the Adirondacks Mountains in upstate New York. And so she thought,
He's going to propose.
yes, she thought that they were going to get married like in an elopement.
Oh, no.
I know. I also read in an article that some suggested that he promised to take Grace to a maternity home where basically she would deliver the baby.
Right.
Because she wasn't telling her family anyways. But
She went
Pretty
to
much.
visit her aunt.
pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, she thought she was getting married. She packed all of her shit, she had many, many bags.
How long did she plan on being gone?
Not that long, but girls pack a lot. And you think you're getting
Fair.
married, you got to have options.
I go for one night and have a whole fucking suitcase.
Same,
so I guess
same.
for a week, I'm going to take 10.
Right. And she was just excited to get married. She thought that she was going to get married. I heard that he also promised her he would get married there. So, but Chester only packed a small suitcase and a tennis racket. So on July of 1906, they went off on their trip.
And let me guess, only Chester came back.
You'll find out. So Chester and Grace stayed a night in a hotel in Utica, New York. Apparently, I read Utica. Yes. Oops.
That's like the nausea.
Yeah, I'm not good at pronouncing words. I'm sorry.
No,
guys.
me either. That's why we have to look them up all the time. How to say this? I think it's Utica.
Utica. That sounds familiar now that you say that. But they stayed a night in a hotel, and apparently, I read that they ditched the bill.
Oh.
Then they went to Tupper Lake in Franklin County by train, where they stayed a night there.
Tupper?
Yeah, Tupperware.
Or Tubble. Side note, Amelia, up until, was it 2 years ago?
It was like, 2 or 3.
2 or 3, thought Tupperware was spelled and pronounced Tubbleware. Tubblewear.
No.
Yes.
I just misspelled that part. I knew it was W-A-R-E.
But she texted me one day and was like something about Tubbleware, and I go, "What's Tubbleware?" And she was like, "LOL," and I was like, "Oh shit, she doesn't realize that she's spelling it wrong."
I thought I was just spelling it wrong. I didn't know I was like,
"Oh no, that's when you changed the where," and I go, "Still don't know what you're talking about." And she was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Oh no, she really thinks it is spelled Tubble." And she had a mind-blown, life-changing experience.
Hear me out, people. When you say Tupperware,
you said an R in the middle.
Okay, I do now, but I'm just saying, like, it just rolls off the tongue where it's like Tubble.
No.
Tupper. Sometimes you can't tell that they're saying an R, so I just thought Tubble. Tupperware.
If anything, yeah, you don't. It's like Tupperware.
Tupple.
Not Tubble.
Yeah, I don't know why I put B's, okay? But if anything.
Or the L.
No. If anything, it sounds like Tupple.
Tupperware.
Tupple. It sounds like you're saying Tupple, not Tupper, because it rolls off the tongue better than L. Tupple.
I don't hear the L or the R.
I say Tupperware.
Tupperware.
I'm saying L. Tupperware. Doesn't it sound like I'm saying it, though?
I was just thinking, how have I never noticed her say it out loud wrong? But I guess it does.
Yeah.
Tupperware. I feel like I
emphasize the R.
Thank you. Emphasize the R. Like I say Tupperware. I need some Tupperware. Do you have any Tupperware?
See, I just say
make it very clear.
Okay, I was wrong by putting the B's. It should have been P's, but Tupple. So yeah.
Tupperware.
So no, they didn't go to Tubble Lake. They went to Tupper Lake.
Okay.
So they stayed a night there. And they had plans to spend the following day on the lake, but it rained. So they went to Big Moose Lake in Herkimer County, New York, where they stayed at Glenmore Inn. At this hotel, Chester checked himself under a fake name of Carl Graham, but he gave Grace's real name. And apparently on his suitcase, the initials were CEG. Which are his...
Chester...
Yeah, I don't remember his middle name. But that's...
Earl, we'll say.
Yeah, probably.
What's his last name?
Edward. I think it's Edward, actually. But he gave the same name of CG so that the initials would match.
On the suitcase. Mm-hmm. Smart. What was his fake name?
Carl Graham.
Graham.
So, on July 11th, Chester rented a rowboat.
Oh, gosh. Almost like to the day. A week off.
Oh, yeah. Chester rented a rowboat and took Grace out on Big Moose Lake. They were just boating around, doing what you do when you go boating. They even went on shore at one point and had like a little picnic.
Cute.
Yes, I know, right? It was now getting dark, and the person who rented the boat from started to get worried, but he just assumed that they misjudged the size of the lake because I guess that happens often, and that he just assumed they went to like another hotel and stayed until morning where they could bring their boat back. Yes. So when they still weren't back the next day, a search party began where they eventually found the boat overturned with Chester's hat in it, and they assumed that both of them got in an accident and drowned, and they were both like not good.
Yeah.
So the search
Fair
party...
assumption.
Right. The search party sees something at the bottom of the lake caught in the weeds, and so they pull it up, and they really just thought it was garbage, but it's Grace's body. And she was only 20 years old.
And pregnant.
I know. So they called the police, and they immediately began investigating. They resumed searching the lake for Chester's body because they still thought that Chester was drowned too, but they didn't end up with finding anything. Police informed Grace's family about her death, and they told police that Grace did not spend time with anyone by the name of Carl Graham, but they knew about Chester Gillette. Gillette. Isn't that the razor brand?
Gillette?
Yeah.
Or like Gillette Stadium where the Patriots play?
That's what, when I was first reading this, I was like, oh, the razor, but it's a skirt.
Wait. Gillette Stadium is obviously because of the razor, but that's like on that.
In New York?
Well, it's
On that side.
Boston.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
But it's in that area, so I wonder if this Chester guy, well, it was a skirt shop, not a razor shop.
But
Well,
still, I bet you it's like a wealthy family.
Yeah.
They just got some ties, you know. So they started searching for Chester. 2 men came to police and told them that they ran into a man in the woods dressed in a suit who asked them how to get to Eagle Bay, which is near Fourth Lake, just like another hotel in whatever. So police searched the surrounding area of these woods and ended up finding Chester at a hotel and arrested him 3 days after Grace's body was found. Apparently, he spent the night before socializing, laughing, and bragging about a drowning on Big Moose Lake that was not even yet reported. And then
bragging like that he did it?
I don't know if it just said that he was bragging about it. Maybe that he knew. I don't know if he was saying he did it. I don't know. But witnesses said he seemed calm, collected, and perfectly at ease, and nothing seemed out of the ordinary. So a post-mortem... What?
What?
Your
face. What?
A post-mortem examination was done on Grace's body and confirmed that she was around 4 months pregnant. They also found out that she was alive when her body entered the water, and before she took her last breath, she suffered a beating that caused terrible bruising on her face and resulted in her death, which then caused her to drown.
So he put her in the water, beat the shit out of her, and then let her drown.
No. He
beat the shit out of her. She wasn't dead yet. Threw her in the water.
I think he beat the shit out of her. She fell into the water and drowned.
And, unconscious, couldn't swim away and drowned.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So the tennis racket that Chester packed was likely the murder weapon, according to the coroner. I can't talk. Chester's initial statement was that he was with Grace when she died and that she was distraught over the pregnancy and committed suicide. When they told him
in front of him and he just let her?
Yeah. And didn't try and
beat the shit out of herself?
Right. Well, that's when they told him that she was actually beaten in the face, and he changed his story to that he stood up on the boat to reach for his hat, and the boat tipped and threw them both into the lake. While they were struggling, he told her to grab onto the boat, and when she did, it flipped again, and Grace went under and never came back up, and basically, he didn't even try.
I mean, for a cover-up story, that's not that bad.
What, he didn't try?
I would have said she fell off the boat near shore and fell on some rocks, and that's why her face was fucked up. His seemed a little more...
Well, I thought he was going to say, the boat hit her in the face.
Oh, I'm assuming that's what he means.
Yeah, but he didn't really specify. I don't know.
I'm assuming that's what he means, but that's a good cover-up story.
It is. He was quick on his feet.
Yeah, I was going to say, it would have taken me forever to think of that. Definitely not when the police are questioning me.
Right. Police interviewed guests and workers at the hotel, and they said that they saw Chester speak harshly to Grace while they were staying there, but they couldn't really make out what they were talking about. They also said that he paced the halls nervously the morning before they went on the boat. Also, Chester's suitcase and clothing were completely dry when he said that he retrieved them from the water after the boat was tipped over.
Why do you have his whole suitcase on the fucking boat?
Exactly, because he knew he was going to escape.
Should have left it on shore.
But he had to escape to the woods to go to the other one, so he had to bring the boat back, or he had to swim back in, apparently, or he had to bring the boat back in.
Where's the tennis racket?
They find it in the hotel that he's staying at. So trial began on November 12th, 1906, and it lasted 3 weeks. It got nationwide attention and was a big media sensation. It was a big case in New York. It was a big deal. A special telegraph station had to be set up in the courthouse basement to handle the thousands of words sent out each day by the press. People even held picnics on the courthouse lawn waiting for trial news to leak. People were outraged at Chester, and the sight of him would cause threats. They would rush him when he was being escorted to the courtroom, and crowd fights happened in hopes for a chance to see Chester. It was the most sensational trial ever held in upstate New York, and with hundreds coming to witness the excitement.
Maybe a certain amount of time, but I feel like nowadays, no
I think it was
way.
Just ever then. That was
at that time. It was the
and
biggest,
probably for a while.
Yeah, until newer days. Newer days? Nowadays? I don't know what
Present
I don't know.
days.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I was trying to say. Present day.
Chester's uncle refused to pay for his defense, so he got court-appointed attorneys who claimed he was innocent and that Grace was so distraught that she committed suicide. Chester testified that Grace jumped in while he sat at one end of the boat, causing it to tip over. So
he said he reached for his hat and it tipped. So now his stories are not lining up.
Exactly. The prosecution said that Grace's pregnancy and insistence upon marriage drove Chester to murder her so he could be free to pursue affairs with other girls from better class of society. Yes, Harriet. They even went as far as to present Grace's fetus as evidence in case the defense tried to deny the pregnancy.
The actual fetus?
That's what I read. I know.
Oh.
But from what I read, they never tried to deny it. So I'm like, ooh, wasn't necessary.
I mean, like, a picture would have been okay.
But also, like, a lot of people didn't know that she was pregnant. So it was like they had to, like, her family didn't know. So, like, they probably needed to.
I feel like the coroner tells me. Coroner. We cannot talk today.
I know.
If the coroner tells me she was pregnant, I would believe it. What reason do I have not to?
But, yeah, like you said, picture. You can't get a picture.
As soon as I said it out loud, I was like, oh, I mean, they could have done a drawing.
The DA read Grace's letter that she wrote to Chester when she was back at home. They read it during the trial. Basically, they did this to show that she wasn't suicidal. And when they read these letters, like, everybody in the courthouse sympathized with Grace, and everybody started to cry. Like, everybody felt for her.
Fuck Chester.
I guess even Chester shed a tear, though, so I'm like, fuck you.
Okay, fake tear.
Yeah. In the letters, Grace pleaded with Chester to accept responsibility for her pregnancy and that she was looking forward to her trip.
How did they get these letters?
I think Chester had them and they took them. Went through his shit and took them.
What an idiot. House. You should have gotten rid of those.
Right. He wasn't thinking. But she mentioned that when she left her parents' house, she said goodbye and she didn't want to tell her parents about her pregnancy. This is a quote from one of her letters. I know I shall never see any of them again. And Mama, great heavens, how I do love Mama. I don't know what I shall do without her. Sometimes I think if I could tell Mama, but I can't. She has trouble enough as it is, and I couldn't break her heart like that. If I come back dead, perhaps if she does not know, she won't be angry with me.
Oh my God, and now she knows and she's dead. Wait, why would she say if I come back dead?
I don't know. That's what I was like.
Was she thinking about suicide at that point, though? Like you said, a lot of them committed suicide.
I think maybe if he wouldn't and she got to the point where she started showing, I mean, she was 4 months. She probably was just starting to show.
I would say it was coming
That's probably why he planned it all anyways. So she probably was if he wouldn't marry her. Okay.
That probably broke her mom's heart.
I know. So apparently these letters of hers were copied and sold outside of the courtroom during trial.
Oh, like to media?
Like these letters were like what made it such a media sensation.
Think about though, any crime, any big story like that, if you have something like
in writing
mm-hmm. like not a text, like in writing that you can prove was this person's handwriting, oh, that shit is gold.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I soak that shit up. I'm like, oh, a handwritten note, yes.
And she wrote a lot.
Right.
So they like put it in like booklet form and sold them bitches.
I would have bought one too. Can we get them now?
I love reading. It's so creepy, but I love reading people's diaries. Like, it's just like, I want to know. Chester couldn't explain to the jury Grace's injuries and how she got them, why he took his suitcase on the boat ride, and how it was dry even though the boat flipped.
Stick to the story. Oh. Well, he said he couldn't explain the bruises, but like you already tried once. Right. Stick to it now.
Right. Ultimately, after 4 hours of deliberation, the jury believed that Chester enticed Grace into the boat with the promise of a romantic day, and when he found a private place out of earshot of other people, he brought her to shore and beat her with his tennis racket, killing her. He then dumped her body into the lake.
No, he wasn't. She wasn't dead before she got dumped in the lake. Remember, they said there was proof that she had fallen into the lake and then died.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe she wasn't.
I mean, he might have thought she was dead.
Yeah, maybe she wasn't fully. She was probably still breathing.
Like passed out.
Mm-hmm. So he then dumped her body into the lake and made his escape through the woods with his suitcase and tennis racket in hand to the hotel that he was found at. He was found guilty of first-degree murder and was sentenced to death by electrocution.
Ooh!
After many failed appeals, the New York Court of Appeals affirmed the conviction, and the governor refused to grant clemency. Chester was executed on March 30th, 1908, in Auburn Correctional Facility by electrocution at the age of 24. His last words were, "Tell my mother I am prepared to meet my God." I read an article that he said he did finally confess to Grace's murder, but he did only to his spiritual advisor at the prison, who never revealed the exact facts of his confession that he said.
I mean, you can't, technically.
Right. So Chester kept a diary for the last 7 months that he was in prison and wrote letters to family, friends, and family members. I'm pretty sure that's where his sister Hazel, that's why I found out he had a sister named Hazel, because he wrote letters to her. Mm-hmm. So these letters were all donated to the Hamilton College Library and published in 2007, almost 100 years after the execution of Chester.
Wow, why? Why so long?
Mm-hmm.
Did you read any of them?
No, because I couldn't really find them, but I really wasn't looking, honestly. So I'm pretty sure they're out there. I'm pretty sure her letters are out there, too, if they were selling them.
But his is a published book. I'm sure we could buy it. But it's cheap as hell.
It's not a published book. They were just...
You just said they were published. Oh. I thought you meant like published in a book.
I don't think they were published in a book.
We'll have to look it up.
So a funeral was finally held for Grace in her hometown, and she was buried in her Brown family plot. There are a lot of books and movies and TV shows and operas on her death.
Like
this
what?
I didn't really look because none of them stood out to me that I knew.
Say anything like we would know?
No, but there's just a lot of other things. So the hotel that Chester and Grace stayed at is still there and is a popular restaurant and tavern.
Because of it? Or just in general?
I don't know. Probably both.
I'm sure back in the day it was popular because of it, and then because of so much publicity, it just became a popular spot.
It's still a lake, too. So, lakes are always popular.
Yeah, but sometimes you get those that, like, it's kind of jank.
Yeah.
But
especially at a hotel.
Yeah.
Like, they get teared down or whatever,
Tore down?
Yeah, sorry. Apparently here, there lives a ghost that haunts
There's
the
a haunting
guest at local hotels and lodges around Moose Lake.
It's
Big
Grace.
Moose Lake, sorry. Witnesses say they have seen her falling from a boat in the lake. Like there's a boat.
What if you just looked out and you just see someone like...
Wouldn't that be terrifying?
Fuck yes.
Some say they have seen her walking along the shore.
She's probably looking for her baby.
Probably.
That's why she hasn't left.
Mm-hmm. She likes to extinguish all of the lights in the hotel. Several workers saw her in 1988. One female said she was heading off to bed and stopped at the top of the stairs to turn off a light, and she felt someone standing next to her, and so she just froze.
I'm getting the chills. Ooh.
3 guys saw Grace right in front of them. She lingered for a few minutes, and then she disappeared. One female was walking towards the lake with her flashlight, and it would randomly start going dim.
Oh, scary movie all the way. Nope, I knew that was coming. Flickered.
Right. When she turned around to go back, she was looking directly at Grace, and she got an overwhelming feeling of sadness. Understandable.
Oh.
So over the years, there have been continual sightings, and many wonder if her spirit has been trapped at Big Moose Lake since the day she was killed by her faithless lover. And that is the story of Grace May Brown.
How sad.
I know.
I bet if she wouldn't have been pregnant and she was killed, she wouldn't have been haunting that place. Or still stuck.
Oh, yeah.
She
But it
wants
makes
her
me wonder
baby.
why exactly she is lingering,
Because her baby. She's pissed.
Yeah.
That's sad. What a fucking dick, Chester.
I know, but I'm
now
glad
I don't like the name Chester.
I'm glad he got electrocuted, though.
True. Very true.
But
I've never heard of that one.
I've never heard of it either. Honestly, I was on Reddit and somebody suggested it, and I was like, let me just look into it. And it was a short little one, so I was like,
All she wanted to do was marry him.
I know.
I mean, why couldn't he have just married her and then a couple years divorce? Well, I guess that's even frowned upon then.
Why
too.
couldn't you have just married her, let her have her kid? She was probably excited to have the kid, and just have your affairs. What the fuck ever.
Or why not take her somewhere to have the kid, say you're going on this vacation, go away for a couple months, let her, like a maternity house, have the kid, put it up for adoption, go home. Both go on your separate fucking ways. Why did she have to die?
I think
I don't
she
think
wanted
she would
the
have been
baby.
okay with that.
I think she wanted to keep the baby. I don't think that was a thing then.
Her poor mom.
I know. So yeah, we should look into those letters.
Yeah, we should. I want to know what he wrote about. For 7 years, that's 7 months.
Yeah. 7 months.
Yeah, whatever.
7 years.
But still, I would
That's
like
a
to read
quick
those.
time to be executed.
You're right.
But
I guess how do they determine?
I don't know how that works.
I guess after so many appeals, they're like, oh my God, just fucking get rid of this guy.
Yeah. But that's a lot of appeals in 7 months.
Nowadays, I feel like it takes 7 months just to like
Make one
appeal just to get it to a judge.
Right.
Back then, things were different though.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's a story.
That's
of
a sad
Grace.
one.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Good story.
Yep, but just as a reminder for everybody, read the book if you want to read the book with us and get your listener stories in for the giveaway. We got some good goodies.
Yeah, get your listener stories in. We'll do the drawing.
We got some
For
goodies.
some goodies.
Tell us anything. Ghost stories. It can just be creepy encounters. Maybe you saw a UFO.
I was to say aliens,
literally
Bigfoot,
anything. Maybe,
Loch Ness Monster. I don't care.
Maybe you have a ghost in your house. Maybe you have this weird sense that you had a past life.
Yeah,
Read
anything
about it.
weird like that.
Anything. Maybe you
Anything.
know somebody who was murdered.
Time
Maybe-
traveling.
Yes.
Anything.
Tell us anything.
We're all about it. We love the
Short
creepy.
or long.
If you have any conspiracy things, we're all about those
Yeah.
right now.
Mhm.
I guess
Yep.
everyone is.
If you
but
have some stuff you know about Pizzagate or Wayfairgate or Pedalgate or anything,
any
the
gate,
Justin Bieber, any type of gate,
Britney Spears.
yeah, give us your input if we don't know it already.
Yeah, if there's anything, granted, we're just watching like short YouTube videos and like
Yeah,
articles and stuff, but anything like you guys think is interesting that like you read and you were like, what the fuck? Definitely tell us because we love that stuff.
yeah, it could be anything. And if you even tell us a conspiracy theory that you want a little short snippet that
Yeah.
you want us to read, you'll be entered in for the giveaway.
The drawing, yeah,
So,
for sure. So get
email
your,
us
get
at
your things in.
Yep, email us at Uncorked Crime. You can DM us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. You can also,
Facebook,
yes, And you-
email, the website,
Mhm.
text us.
yes, you know it.
If you want to write a letter, I guess you could.
You can mail it. We'll give you an address if you want.
We'll get a P.O. box.
Let us know.
I honestly would love that.
I would too.
But yes, share any stories.
Mhm.
Have them in by July 31st.
July 31st.
So have them.
and shout out, my birthday is in 2 days.
Oh yes, Amelia is going to be 27.
26. I'm officially
Oh, that's
on
right, 26.
my own insurance.
Okay, I
Woo
was
woo.
thinking 27 because you're already on your insurance.
Yeah.
So it was throwing me off. Yes, Amelia's birthday's in 2 days. So July 29th. Don't forget to shout out Amelia.
Yeah.
And have your stories in by Friday.
Yes.
Friday is
It's a
the cutoff
busy
for
week
the
for you
stories.
guys. Wish me happy birthday and send stories.
Yeah, Amelia, what are you doing for your birthday?
We go on our annual tubing trip with a bunch of our friends, so I'm excited about that. It's a lot of fun. We rent a house in Newaygo.
No,
It's a cute little town.
Yeah, it is fun. I went once.
Yeah, we go tubing. We spend the whole day tubing, and yeah.
So Amelia, have a great birthday.
I will.
Happy 26th. Welcome to official. That's your your last thing, isn't
I
it?
know. Yep.
Like your last cut to childhood or
Yeah.
like not being an adult.
Yeah, it is.
You can rent a car.
I can. I thought you could at 25 though.
You're off your parents'
So
insurance.
I could for a whole year.
Well, you're off your parents' insurance.
Yes.
You're like no longer. You are an adult. Welcome. It's been a couple years. Been waiting, but we're here
Yeah.
together now.
Yeah. So cheers to my birthday. Cheers to Grace, and cheers to listeners.
Cheers to the baby.
Oh, and to the unborn baby.
Yes. Cheers.
Our pathetic little coffee cup. Cheers.